I accidentally drank a bottle of invisible ink. I'm at the hospital currently waiting to be seen. What's going on, YouTube? This is a Transmute station. Now, Transmute stations are one of the most essential things to know about in the Elder Scrolls Online. So today, we're going to talk about how you can get tons of Transmute crystals, how to store extra Transmute crystals, and just exactly how this bad boy works. And unfortunately, some old things that you used to be able to do that unfortunately don't work anymore. And if you've never seen these before, they're actually at the top of your account currency. So this is something that is account-wide across all of your characters, and you can have at most up to 1,000 on your person at any given time. And certain activities gives you tons of them. PvP is the new best-in-slot way to get Transmute crystals. It used to actually be doing a random daily dungeon on a low-level character, or being grouped with your buddy who was a low level, because then you would get like the Cupcake Caker, dungeon. You'd be like in City of Ash 1, Spindle Clutch 1 the whole time. And you would still get your random daily transmute, level of transmute crystals. But now they're just giving them away like candy through Rewards of the Worthy. But why do you want to know about transmute crystals? Well, transmute crystals have two very essential purposes for all players, and they can be found right inside of a transmute station. Now, there is one inside of the Clockwork City, but pretty much every guild hall, most player homes are also able to get these bad boys. Very first thing that you can do is you can transmute items. Let's say, for example, I get these bad Mamma Jamma War Maidens breeches, and I go, you know what? I think that it would be better for me to have this in Divines. Boom! You could just change the traits on them. So if you're farming for gear, you don't have to get the gear in the perfect trait, because you can use 50 transmute crystals. You can see there in the bottom left how much it costs. 50 transmute crystals to be able to take it from one trait into another. It's great for doing that for your best in slot gear that's really hard to get. And overall, it's just a really important utilization for the transmute crystals to do, especially if you're farming things like dungeons, trials, or really annoying gear sets that you don't have the ability to easily manipulate what trait you're getting. It's a no-brainer to use your transmute crystals in this way. However, you do have to have the traits learned. So even though we're not crafting gear from nothing, we're not using a crafting station, I still need to know how to make light infused pants. If I didn't know how to make infused pants, I could not make these from reinforced into infused. That's very important. That's why I always tell new players, listen, you may never craft anything in your life, but you will likely transmute items. So get cracking on some of those traits. If you play, a medium armor build, get cracking on the medium armor. If you play light armor, get cracking on the light armor, and vice versa. Get those weapons researched, get that armor researched. But it also has another really important utilization, and that second useful function is under Reconstruction. So if you have sets that are currently already learned by binding them and having, kind of deconstructed them or quick sold them to an NPC merchant, they'll be saved in your sticker book, and you can go out and you can pull these bad boys out at a later date. Let's say, for example, I really want this Macabre Vintage Jack. I can literally make it in any trait, as long as you have it learned. Let's say I'm going to make this in Divines. Boom. It's now made in Divines. It'll be in my inventory. Now, this is where it becomes easier to store these bad boys, too, because we literally just spent 25 transmute crystals. If we come all the way back up, find ourselves a clothing station, and we go to deconstruct it, we can actually break it down, and you'll notice 25 transmute crystals. Now, what we did earlier costed 50. So if we were to reconstruct, we could get at most 25 back. If we transmute one trait to another, the most we can get back is 25. So 25 is the most you will ever get back. So the only time you're actually able to kind of break even is when you're reconstructing gear. So if you have old transmuted gear where you're like, I don't need it anymore, you can break it down and you'll get 25 back, but you would have paid 50. So if you want to store extra, you have to spend 25 transmute crystals to do so, which means we need to talk about another important concept, and that's you may not have the whole set learned. This is Arteron. I don't like to spend a lot of time in Arteron. It's basically Rift and Light when it comes to the people that play there. So it would cost me 44. But if I was like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll reconstruct this for 44 Transmute crystals. You're going to notice something very important here as we go through this example. I'm going to do another one of Macabre Vintage just to show you. So we spent 25 and 44. We're going to go break down both of these, and you're going to notice something very fascinating if you've been paying attention. And that's we're only going to get 50 Transmute back. So it's very important to have as many of them learned. You want it to be 25 Transmute crystals at its cost, which means you would need the full sticker book learned. A lot of people will have full dungeon sets learned, based on when they farm specific sets. I've got the full Westweld area, spent a lot of time there, spent the event there, got tons of the sets from there. So a lot of you guys will have full versions of these sets. These are the ones that you want to reconstruct to store your extra Transmute inventory, because unfortunately, as we have a bunch of Transmute crystals, unfortunately, these can't go into the bank. These just sit in your inventory, and they take up a ton of space. However, once you turn them into a piece of gear, like we just did, now we can put them into storage. But also, how exactly did I get these many Transmute geodes? Well, all of these 25 Transmute geodes that you're seeing me open right now are from PvP. And if you want to get these Transmute geodes from PvP, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, Jake, that's got to be painful. Literally, all you need to do is get a bunch of rewards of the worthy. We have 11 right now. Every day, you just open one of them. That's it. And then you get 25 Transmutes guaranteed by opening it. Unfortunately, I've already done it for today. So I'm going to wait, open this rewards of the worthy box tomorrow. Boom, 25 guaranteed Transmutes. Especially right now, with Mid-Year Mayhem active, or White Strake's Mayhem, Pellinnor's Grace, it's got like 1,000 names. Take any of your characters to Cyrodiil, get a bunch of rewards of the worthy boxes, and just hold on to them. And then open them up throughout the entire month. And then when you get capped out because you're like, Jake, I can't stand any more Transmute crystals, that's when you turn them into a random set that you own. Make a bunch of them. Spend your 25 Transmute crystals. Again, you want it to be 25. They could be more expensive if you don't have the full sticker book unlocked, so you want to try to get one where you do. And then you just throw it in a storage coffer. You guys can see here that I've even got previously, transmuted gear in my inventory here. So you're able to just throw these bad boys. Where you see here, we can't throw in these geodes, unfortunately, which would solve a lot of problems. But we can throw in the Macabre Vintage helmet. So you could just have a nice little box inside your home with all your extra transmuted gear ready to just be thrown away. Now again though, you want to do this through reconstruction. Ideally, you don't want to have to actually do this through transmutation. So transmutation again is where we go from one trait to another. That always costs 50, and if you deconstruct the gear that you spent 50 on, you will get 25 back, but there's no way to reduce it below 50. So in a perfect world, you want to reconstruct your gear. You want to reconstruct a gear that you already have fully unlocked. It'll be 25 Transmute crystals. You got to have all the pieces, the helmets, the weapons, the armor, etc. And then you'll be able to put those in your rewards boxes. And then you'll be able to hold on to them. And then you can open your rewards of the worthy throughout the week and get tons of Transmute crystals. And by the time a new great set comes out and you need to transmute because let's say it's a dungeon set, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got the new best set in the game, but I got it all in the wrong trait. Well, now got the resources to turn it into the right one. Now we can talk about the old gold method that does not seem to work anymore. At least it's not working on Xbox and A. So you used to be able to transmute things into specific traits, and then you could deconstruct that armor and have a chance to get that trait back. So I could get a bunch of Nern Cruxes, for example. Problem is that no longer works anymore. I could not get any Nern Cruxes back. I could not get any good resources back from doing so, leading me to think that it's unfortunately patched. You're not able to use this as some sort of Nern Crux method or trying to get any of the rare valuable jewelry, back as well. So if you're very confused on what I'm talking about, you don't even have to worry about it because it doesn't unfortunately work anymore. But basically what it was is that by changing the traits, you could then basically roll to get some of the trait resources back, which are usually pretty expensive. There are some really valuable 20, 30K, resources that you could try to roll for. You'd have like a 60 to 70% chance to get it back, but it doesn't seem to be working anymore. So now just stick to everything we talked about. Reconstructing, use it to store your extra. Make sure you've got a full sticker book collection on what you're doing. It could be from Spindle Clutch 1. It could be the Overland set in Glenumbra. It could be your mom's favorite set that comes from a dungeon, wherever. As long as you've got the full sticker book built out, you just throw that in there, throw it into a box, and you are hunky-dory on going over the cap. And then for Transmutation, whenever you get a rare piece of armor or gear that you really want to use, but it's in a bad trait like training, which is not going to help you slay monsters, you want to turn that into sharpened or something else, then you can use your Transmutation, tab here to use your crystals to do that instead. So that's how you can delineate between the two of them, but also to try to get as many rewards of the worthy boxes as physically possible. Put them on a character that can hold on to them, because you will get a lot of them depending on the campaigns that you're in. And even if you're doing BGs, you can actually pull them out on any character because it's going to be in the mail. So you could just set one up every day as your daily login Transmutation mule, and he just opens and closes them every day. Because it doesn't matter what character you open them on. It is character bound in the sense that, once you pulled them out, you can't transport them to other characters. But you can only do this on one account character per day. So you can't, for example, on 10 characters, open one, rewards of the worthy will not work. You will only get one 25 transmute geode. And then after that, it's random on, the other transmutes that you may or may not get. But everyone, the cough drops are wearing off, so I'm going to let you guys go here while I recover from the old bronchitis. Thank you so much again for watching. As always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you need to do to enter is leave a comments below /like on the video for the first drawing. Second one is just make sure you're subscribed /follow on Twitch and Twitter. And the third thing is look for a hidden word be flashed upon the screen. If you're the first person to find and comment that word, you will win. We will also be doing a fun little Q&A, first one to answer a specific question on a random video as well. So thank you one last time, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.